The heart is the muscular organ of the circulatory system that constantly pumps blood throughout the body. It is a sophisticated pump that is controlled by an electrical current initiated from the brain. Approximately the size of a clenched fist, the heart is composed of cardiac muscle tissue that is very strong and able to contract and relax rhythmically throughout a person's lifetime. The heart has 4 separate compartments or chambers. The upper chamber on each side of the heart is called an atrium, receives and collects blood coming into the heart. The atrium then delivers the blood to the powerful lower chamber, called a ventricle, which pumps blood away from the heart through powerful rhythmic contractions. Our heart beats 100,000 times a day, pushing 5,000 gallons of blood through our body every 24 hours. On average, the heart beats less than 2.5 billion times in the span of a lifetime. As part of the development of heart failure, neurohormonal imbalances are involved in the morbidity and mortality of chronic heart failure, which is defined with the overstimulation of both the RAAS and sympathetic nervous system, alongside a decrease in the effects of neprilysin peptide system. With the RAAS system expressing its mechanism through the hormones angiotensin II and aldosterone, the system regulates vascular tone and blood pressure through vasoconstriction as well as sodium and water retention. The triggering effects behind the activation of this system are resultant of abnormalities in cardiac function. However, through long-term exposure to its effects, systemic vascular resistance may occur, this including sodium and water retention, myocardial hypertrophy, and fibrosis, all contributing to the development of chronic heart failure. Sacubitril and valsartan are utilized to reduce the effects associated with cardiovascular events in patients suffering from heart failure and reduce ejection fraction. Sacubitril, which is hydrolyzed into LBQ657, is involved in the inhibition of neprilysin specifically. By inhibiting neprilysin, natriuretic peptides remain in the standard active form, which prevent vasoconstriction, sodium retention, and maladaptive remodeling. These peptides protect the cardiovascular system through inducing natriuresis and diuresis, thereby causing vasodilation alongside the inhibition of the RAS system when under atrial and ventricular stress. Valsartan, an inhibitor of angiotensin II type 1 receptor, is a downregulation of the RAS system. Valsartan is used due to the inhibition of neprilysin, which would normally degrade vasoconstrictors such as angiotensin II. Inhibiting angiotensin II results in vasodilation and reduction in vasopressin secretion, and with these mechanisms is capable to treat cardiac conditions such as hypertension, diabetic neuropathy, and heart failure. Inhibition of angiotensin II is conducted following limited cytochrome P450 mediated through metabolism with competitive binding to the type 1 angiotensin II receptor, thereby preventing the blood pressure increasing effects of angiotensin II. Through this is a decrease in aldosterone levels, causing an increase in excretion of water and sodium by the kidneys, leading to a decrease in blood pressure and blood volume. The Paradigm Heart Failure trial compared the use of sacubitril valsartan LCZ696 with enalapril in patients that has had heart failure with a reduced ejection fraction. 8,442 patients that were classified as Class 2, 3, or 4 heart failure were randomly assigned. 4,203 patients took a 200 mg dose of LCZ696 twice daily, and 4,229 patients took a 10 mg dose of enalapril twice daily. At the end of the 27-month study, 711 patients that received sacubitril valsartan and 835 patients receiving enalapril died. 558 and 693 of these patients, respectively, died due to cardiovascular causes. This study concluded with sacubitril valsartan being superior to enalapril in reducing the deaths of patients that were hospitalized due to heart failure. Sacubitril valsartan, or otherwise known as Entresto, has struggled to penetrate the chronic heart failure market, achieving dismal sales in the US since its launch in July 2015 due to high pricing and general reluctance of cardiologists and physicians to adopt new therapies. However, after its label expansion to heart failure with preserved ejection fraction, which is expected to occur in 2020, makes it one of the strongest drivers of the market growth. There is a limited data available for the guide of usage for or sacubitril/valsartan in patients of low-dose angiotensin-converting enzyme ACE inhibitors or angiotensin II receptor blockers (ARBs), or in patients who have not previously been treated with ACE inhibitors or ARBs. No data is yet available regarding the safety or efficacy of sacubitril/valsartan in stage D heart failure, in hospitalized heart failure patients and those with heart failure complicating myocardial infarctions, or in heart failure with preserved ejection fraction.